Hi everyone, welcome back to Ginatopia. Today on Try It Tuesday, we're going to discuss the holiday edition to Too Faced Sugar Cookie Palette. This palette retails for $26 and I wanted to tell you about it. I've had it for a little over a week and been trying it out. And I thought I would show you the really cute little palette in a tin. And this palette is really super small. It is smaller than most of the other little Too Faced palettes that come in a tin. This is my peanut butter and jelly palette. This is the new sugar cookie palette, so you can see it is actually quite a bit smaller than the peanut butter and jelly palette. So let me pull this palette out and let me show you what it looks like. Let me move my brushes here before Bella jumps up here and knocks them all off, which she has a tendency of doing. So I was really surprised when I got the palette at how small it really is, even though the pans on the inside, let me open it up and show you compared to the Too Faced palette, are actually larger than the pans in the Too Faced except for these right here. So there is the size compared to the peanut butter and jelly palette. And here are, hey Bells, move. And here are the pans compared to the size of the semi-sweet palette. So there are the pan sizes, so you can get what they look like instead of the ounce size. So let me do some color swatching. It comes with 8 pans, and the colors are called Nom Nom, Milk and Cookies, Half Baked, Tough Cookie, Butter and Love, Fresh from the Oven, Cookie Pusher, and Burnt to the Crisp. So let me show you Nom Nom, Milk and Cookies, and Half Baked. So this is Nom Nom, which is a Bella, which is a really glittery shade. I'm having problems with Bella this morning. Milk and Cookies and Half Baked. So Nom Nom, if you like a glittery highlighter, this could be a really pretty glittery highlighter. Here's Nom Nom, Milk and Cookies, and Half Baked. Let me pull my camera just a little bit closer to me so it might be easier for you to see. So there those shades are. Let me pull out a wipe here so I can wipe my fingers off. And let me pull out and here is the shade Tough Cookie, which I think most of us have in a palette of one or other. It is kind of a purpley chocolate color with glitter. So that's what that shade looks like. So that is the top row. Now the bottom row is Butter and Love, which is your setting shade, and Fresh from the Oven, and Cookie Pusher, and Burnt to a Crisp. So here are those shades. Probably can't see that one on my arm. Let me try that again. That's a skin tone shade for me. This is a pinky shade, which is really, really pretty. And there is Burnt to a Crisp. So there is the shade range in the palette. And yes, it does smell like sugar cookies, so it makes you hungry when you're applying your eyeshadow. But you know, Too Faced is known for its delicious smelling eyeshadows. So let me go into my eyeshadows. I already have primer on, and I went into the shade Butter and Love. And I'm just going to take a brush and set my eyeshadow primer with that. Let me pull my camera just a little bit closer still, so you can see what I'm doing. Here is the eyeshadow look that I got. Now, one thing about this palette is you could get a very, very neutral look with this, setting your eyeshadow primer with this, using this as your transition shade, and using these two shades right here. You could get a very, very neutral look. Bella, honey, can you just sit plain still, honey? Can you just sit still? So knocking off my brush, I'm going in with that. Bella, get back. Sit still. I'm just putting this all over my eyelid to set my primer. She does not like to sit still. And then going into the second shade on top, which is called Milk and Cookies, which is that really pretty transition shade up there. I'm taking a fluffy brush. Going into that, I'm going slightly above my crease. Let me get my hair out of my way. And putting that above my crease. Trying to get better about holding my mirror down for you all. Trying, I said. I'm working really hard at it. To me, the pink shade and the copper shade in this palette do not perform as well as they should. Even when I wet my brush, they didn't seem to perform as well. They work better using your fingers than they do with the wet brush. Get back, Bells. So, what do I give this palette? I think for $26, it's a really cute little palette. You can just toss it in your purse, and you've got a really cute neutral shade with a copper. You've got if you like a chunky, glittery highlighter, you've got a great little highlighter right there. But I personally would not repurchase this palette. I have enough shades this color, so it's not something that I really need. I love the way it smells. I've already got it, so I'll keep it. It is a really cute little palette. But I've got enough that shades this color. But I'm a sucker for Too Faced. I love Too Faced. I'm a sucker for their little palettes. I love little palettes. Now I'm taking this shade Burnt to a Crisp, and I'm going out on my outer V. And bringing this across in my crease. I'm talking about two things at once. I can't do that. And I'm sitting here like this if you're wondering what I'm doing. I just have enough shades this color. A lot of these shades can be found in the Natural Love palette, which I own. So, if you've got that palette, you really don't need this palette unless you love that palette and you wanted something you could just toss in your purse. This is, you know, perfect for that. But I would not repurchase this palette. Like I said, I've got enough shades this color, having that palette. So, if it's right up your alley, then go out and get it. It's a little powdery, but most eyeshadow palettes are nowadays. You can get a great, really neutral look out of it. You can pop that dark shade right out there in the corner of your eye and really smoke it out. Like I said, if you are into chunky, glittery highlighters, that right there is great for a highlighter because, I mean, look at that. That is like, whoo! Look at that. That is beautiful. So, I mean, that is, when you rub it in, you really don't see the glitter so much. So that right there might be one that I will try on my cheeks because, yeah, when you blend that out, you really don't see the glitter on that. So I may give that a try out there on my cheeks. I'm liking on that. Where's my brush? Let me find my brush over here. Well, I don't see my normal brush, but let me get this brush right here and try that. I'm liking that, I think, on my cheeks. Where I stuck my finger in there, that didn't work so good, but looking pretty good with the brush. It's not my favorite brush to use for that, on that little pan like that, but oh, I'm liking that. Oh yeah, I'm liking that for a highlighter. So, I may be liking this palette a little more than I thought, checking that out as a highlighter. But anyway, let's get back to the eyeshadow tutorial. So now I'm taking my finger, I'm going into that copper shade called Half Baked, and I'm putting that right here in the center of my eye, blending out to where I stopped that darker brown shade called Burnt to a Crisp, and bringing that out. Because I did find that these shades, I'm knocking my finger off, finding out that these shades did work better with my fingers. and that has a little pink fleck to it. And then I'm going into that pink shadow with my finger and bringing that out to the front. And you may have to do that a couple times because it's not a real intense shade. And then go back into that copper and blend it back. Because I wanted more of that copper than the pink. But no, I wouldn't repurchase this palette for my own personal use because it's just, I have so many shades this color. Let me grab my brush over here. I have so many shades this color that I personally didn't need it. But if you don't have a lot of shadows this color, this might be something you want. And I think Bella must have already knocked my brush off, so let me grab another brush over here. Now I'm going into that really pretty highlighter shade called Nom Nom. And I'm going into the corner of my eye with that. And I meant to go underneath my eye and forgot to. But I'm also taking that sparkle shade Nom Nom and going underneath my brow bone. I get distracted with Bella sitting here. Sometimes I'm just taking another flat brush and I'm going into that dark brown shade and I'm mixing it with that copper a little bit, and I'm going to go underneath my lash line just a little bit. I gotta get over here in the mirror so I can see with the light. And then a mascara. You know, I can't help but tell you the truth about stuff. Sorry, hit my camera. But this would be good for a young girl starting out too, to experiment with some shimmer shades and some glittery shades. And plus, what young girl can't refuse the sugar cookie? But like I said, if you're like me and have all kinds of shadows, this was a palette I really didn't need, but what girl can't refuse sugar cookies? Next to oatmeal, that's my favorite cookie. And then I did use an eyeliner with this look, if I can find it. Here it is. I'm just going into, I can't see the name without my glasses. And just a little bit of black eyeliner on the lower lash line, or the lower waterline. And that was my fast and easy look using the Too Faced Holiday Sugar Cookie Palette. So if you like my video, give me a thumbs up and a share. If you like my channel, please subscribe and be sure to hit the little notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And right there is the baby Bells. Yeah, she's cleaning herself. She's done had the tea things this morning several times. So the Too Faced Sugar Cookie Palette. If you've got the Natural Love palettes, you really don't need this because there's a lot of repeat colors in this palette. I can pull that palette out and show it to you so you can kind of see. If you don't have this big palette and you've been looking for something kind of small and compact, this might be what you're looking for. But let me show you these two palettes side by side. This Natural Love palette is no longer available through Too Faced, but Shop Hush has a dupe for it. Here they are side by side. So you can kind of see, you know. So I really didn't need that palette, but it was sugar cookie and it was a holiday edition, and I got it off HSN, so you know they break your payments up, and you know sometimes they'll have 2 payments, and I've seen it up to as many as 5 payments. So when you're breaking $26 down into 5 payments, it's basically a cup of coffee a day, you know, a cup of coffee a month. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Bella, I appreciate that so much. Wiping your butt on my arm. Cats, they just, you know, they just have no rules. No rules, do you, baby? No rules, do you, baby? So I just want to be on camera. So I just want to be on camera. Yeah, so I just want to be on camera. Yeah. Oh, if you could hear her purr. Little beast. Little beast of burden. Little beast of burden, yeah. So if y'all like my channel, give me a thumbs up and a share. Remember to share the love, not the hate. And that is my review of the little Too Faced holiday version of the Sugar Cookie palette. Share the love, not the hate.